Hello artists! Today I'm sharing a time-lapse tutorial on making a color mixing chart using watercolor. Earlier I made a template for you to trace, but if you don't have access to it, you can always make any size grid that will work for you. These happen to be 3/4 inch squares. I left a little extra space around each box so I can write in the name of each color. And I noticed I accidentally wrote yellow-green on the second side. It should read yellow ochre. The paint I'm using is made by Reeves. It's concentrated and comes in small tubes. I've placed each of the 10 colors into a separate well on a plastic palette that looks kind of like a deviled egg tray. I'm putting in each color on the side and the top of the chart, and also in the diagonal that runs down the center. Lemon yellow is the lighter of the two yellows. Medium yellow is the richer one. Brilliant red is warmer and leans more towards orange. Crimson is a softer red and leans more towards violet. Phthalo blue leans more towards green. And ultramarine is a blue that leans more towards violet. Sap green is a light green, the color of new leaves in spring. And viridian hue is a deeper green, the color of emeralds. Yellow ochre is a rich earthy yellow, and burnt umber is a deep brown. I can usually work about 4 or 5 of these boxes at a time before they dry. So I've put down 4 of the burnt umber, and now I'm taking some of the lemon yellow and tapping it into the burnt umber. Rinsing out my brush before going to the next color will make sure that my paint stays clean. I'm only putting in just a drop and then mixing it around so that the main color will be the burnt umber with a hint of the other color. For all of these boxes, I'm leaving a little bit of white space so that the colors won't mix into each other. They need a little bit of a border to separate them. Making a color chart like this is really important to get to know the brand of paint you're working with. Not all paint is created equal. Some colors will have richer pigments based on the brand. And so it's good to do this to get the hang of just how much paint you might need to tap into a main color to create the exact shade you're looking for. You'll probably notice that the phthalo blue is pretty pigment rich. It doesn't take much to get to the shade that you want, whereas the ultramarine takes a little bit more pigment to get to the same intensity. Now that I've finished the first 2 columns, I'd like to point something out. There are going to be 2 boxes that show a combination of yellow ochre and burnt umber. However, the yellow ochre column and the burnt umber column will determine which color is the main one and therefore has more pigment. And you'll follow that pattern throughout the rest of the color chart. So here, yellow ochre with just a touch of burnt umber. For the rest of the video, I'll go ahead and speed things up a little bit more. Just keep in mind that I am rinsing my brush out between each of these color additions to make sure that the pigments on my palette stay clean and pure. As you're deciding what you might like to paint, you can use your color mixing chart to help you match the shades you'll need. So if you're painting a leaf with a rose, you can see you'll need to add a touch of brilliant red or crimson to make the neutral greens that make up the shaded side of the leaf. This entire color chart took me just over an hour to make, so please keep in mind that you'll probably need about a class and a half to complete the whole thing. And this watercolor chart is just about done. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you.